Okay. Good morning to all. So in today's lecture, we are going to discuss about the transistor biasing and thermal stabilization. The first of all, the purpose of this transistor stabilization or the transistor biasing is to maintain your transistor Q point, that is quiescent point, in active region, because whenever the Q point is in active region, then only the transistor will work as an amplifier. So there are different biasing techniques are there. So for example, collector based biasing technique or fixed bias or self bias or emitter follower bias. These are all the various biasing techniques, so which will give the fixing of your Q point, that is quiescent point, in the active region of your amplifier different regions. So the thermal stabilization means it will give the effect of temperature on your Q point, so with respect to the base current and voltage across the base and emitter and your reverse saturation current. And today we will see the one by one what are all the transistor biasing techniques and what is the thermal stabilization. So the first one is a need for biasing. So the need for biasing is to maintain the Q factor in active region of the transistor region, so then only it will act as an amplifier. Next one is operating point. Operating point means it is nothing but the Q point. Operating point means this operating point means it represents the Q point. So it is the function of collector current and the voltage across your collector and emitter region. Next one is the load line analysis. There is a DC load line analysis and AC load line analysis are there. So in this DC load line analysis, so we will get the value of IC and VCE in your active region and BJT biasing methods. In these methods, there are the several biasing techniques are there, such as fixed bias and self bias and collector to base resistor method and emitter follower method. Next one is the basic of stability. So if the stability factor is less, we can say that the thermal stabilization is high, so then only the transistor will work as an amplifier. Next one is, these are all the various biasing techniques: fixed bias and collector to base bias or self bias. And next one is the stabilization against variations in VBE, IC and beta value. Here beta is the current gain value in common emitter configuration, and IC is collector current, VBE is the voltage across your base and emitter region, that is the junction J1. And the stability factors we are having, there are three types of stability factors. The first one is S, S dash and S double dash. So these three S dash and S double dash are nothing but the variation of your collector current, the variation of the collector current. So with respect to the beta and IBO, that is reverse saturation current, and VBO, so that will give the stabilization factor. And next one is the basic compensation techniques, thermal runaway and thermal stability. The compensation techniques are, there are various compensation techniques are there. For example is the thermistor is one of the compensation technique. Next one is the thermal runaway, means how the cyclically the effect of the temperature on your reverse saturation current. If the reverse saturation current is varies, how the collector current varies, and that cyclic representation will give this thermal runaway. So whenever the stabilization factor is less, then we will get this thermal stability is high. And next one is BJT biasing methods and stabilization methods. So first of all, coming to the need for biasing. So biasing is required for the faithful amplification and the purpose of giving the proper supply voltages, that is so input voltage and input AC voltage and input DC voltage. So generally we will represent input DC voltage with respect to the VCC, and input to AC voltage we are applying at the base resistor point. Next one is the collector current of common emitter amplifier is given by the IC equal to beta into IB plus ICO. Here the ICO is the reverse saturation current. It means that the current due to the minority carriers, and IB is the current of your base, and beta is the amplification factor. So next one, this operating point. So the operating point is also known as the bias point or Q point, that is quiescent point. When the line is drawn, so here, this point is called the Q point, and it is the coordinating system. If you consider the coordinating system, it is for x-axis it is the coordinate of VCE, and y-axis it is the coordinate of IC. So simply we can say that the Q point is nothing but VCE Q comma IC Q. So this is the Q point is the function of the voltage across collector and emitter and the collector current points. So next one, the line when drawn over this output characteristic curve makes the contact at a point called the operating point. So whenever if you identify the value of IC and VCE, if you draw the line to the contact of this IC and VCE, then we will call it is the Q point. So next, the factors affecting the operating point. So the main factor that affects the operating point is the main point is the temperature, and the operating point shifts due to the change in temperature. And this change of temperature, so it will give the very much impact on the collector current, because for every 10 degree variation of your temperature, room temperature, the reverse saturation current, that is ICBO. So we will represent here ICBO. So this value will vary. So 10 degrees rise. That means that if you take if ICBO value is for example 20 microamperes at the room temperature of 27 degrees centigrade, at the room temperature of 27 degrees, if the room temperature is increases to 37 degrees Celsius, that is a 10 degree increment, then so your ICBO value will be doubled. That is the value of ICBO so will be 40 microamperes. So if the ICBO value varies, so automatically the collector current will also get varied. So due to this impact, the Q point will be shift like that. The Q point, if IC varies, like the Q point will be shifted in this way. Yeah. So here the Q point will be shifted in this way. Then if you draw the line between, so these two we will get here. So like this. So automatically your Q point also will get varied. If the room temperature increases, then automatically the Q point will be shifted. So like this. Then the contact point we will draw here. So this is the effect of your temperature on this IC value. If IC value changes, automatically the quiescent point, that is Q point, will be shifted. Now the VBE, the voltage across the base and emitter, generally the value of VBE, so always if you consider at the constant room temperature, the value of VBE so will be 0.7 volts. 0.7 volts for silicon, and the value of VBE will be 0.3 volts for germanium. So if the room temperature varies, automatically the value of VBE, the voltage across your base and emitter, will be shifted towards, and it rises for every variation of 1 degree rise of the temperature, so it will get varied of 2.5 millivolts. So that is the impact of temperature on the voltage of your VBE and the voltage of the current of your ICBO. So due to this parameter variations, automatically the Q point will be shifted. Now this is the DC load line analysis. Here we are taking the PNP transistors and we connected one load resistor, that is RC, to your collector, and there is no input signal, that is there is no AC signal, and just we applied that VCE voltage across the collector and the emitter. So if you apply the Kirchhoff voltage law, this circuit, so we will get that the applied voltage is equal to, so VC equal to VCC minus IC into RC. This is the DC load line analysis. So if you analyze these points, we will get this is the applied VCC voltage, and that voltage will equal to your VCE, and this is here we are having the three regions, and this region is called the saturation region or ohmic region, and this region is called the cutoff region, and this region is called active region. This region is called active region. See, remember, whenever we are using one transistor as an amplifier, always this Q point should be placed in this active region only, then only so it will work as an amplifier. And this is the DC load line analysis. Whenever the collector to emitter voltage, that is VC equal to 0, the collector current is maximum, and we will get the IC equal to VCC by RC. Next, when the collector current IC equal to 0, then the value of the VCE, that is voltage across collector and emitter, is equal to VCC, and then the point A is represented as 0, VCC by RC. This is the point A. Yeah, this is the point A, that is VCC by RC, and this is the point B, that is VCC by RC. When you draw the line in between these A and B, then we will get it is the DC load line. So point A equal to 0, VCC by RC, and point B is equal to VCC by 0. Sorry. And now see, this is AC load line analysis. So if you observe this AC load line analysis, so it is we are taking at the saturation point between IC and VCE, and this line is called this line is called, that is with respect to the IC saturation, and so VCE we will call this is the DC load line, and the point at VCQ is called the voltage of your VCC at the Q point Q, and the value of your IC at the far is called the AC load line analysis. This line is represented as AC load line. So entirely the value of AC load line or DC load line is completely depend upon the values of VC and IC only. Whenever your transistor is in saturation mode or in cutoff mode, so we are taking in between these 2 points is called cutoff. Here it is the cutoff mode. Then we will take it as a AC load line. So whenever it is in active region, we will take it as a DC load line. So next one, the thermal runway. So we can write that the collector current is equal to beta into IB plus ICO. So here beta is the amplification factor, and we can write ICO is equal to, so beta 1 plus beta into ICBO. This is the collector emitter opened, this is collector base opened, so both are reverse saturation current. So ICBO is represented as we are taking ICBO in common base collector configuration, and ICEO we are taking in so common emitter configuration, and the relation between ICEO and ICBO is so 1 plus beta into so ICBO. So with this value we can say that if the reverse saturation current is increases in both cases, the automatically the value of collector current is also will get varied, and here the flow of collector current and also the collector leakage current causes the heat dissipation. So due to the this minority carrier current, and due to this effect, the transistor, the Q point will be shifted, and your transistor will be in instabilization mode. So we can avoid these problems with the help of some biasing methods. So there are some biasing techniques are there, that is fixed bias or emitted feedback bias or collector to base bias and collector to emitter feedback bias and voltage divider bias, or we will call it as a self bias. The first of all we will see the fixed bias. So why we are calling it is a fixed bias, so we will see now. Yeah, this is the fixed bias. Here just we connected, we are taking the NPN transistor, and the resistor RC is connected across your IC and RB is connected across your base. Now the voltage across this base and emitter is called VBE. Remember students, always at the room temperature, if the transistor is silicon, then the value of VBE is 0.7. And this is the voltage across your collector and emitter. Now the VCC is the applied input DC voltage to the circuit. So if you apply here the entire circuit values or depend upon the value of RB. So why it is depend upon the value of RB? So we will see in the mathematical part or the mathematical analysis. Now see, if you apply the Kirchhoff voltage law, so across the input junction, so here the input junction means, so if you apply the VCC, so the current flow, you just avoid this transistor, so avoid this resistor, and now see here this is the VCC value. Now see, if you consider the input voltage like this, the input voltage like this, so we can write that according to the KVL at the input of your transistor, we can write that the applied VCC is equal to IB into RB plus VBE. So from this point I can write that the RB is equal to, from this point I can write that the RB equal to, so VCC minus VBE divided by IB. Here the VBE is fixed voltage and VCC is also fixed, and the entire value of IB is depend upon the value of RB. So that's why we are saying that it is a completely base biased resistor, base resistor fixed bias. Here the fixed bias means that base resistor is fixed. Now we can write that IB equal to VCC minus VBE by RB, and the value of RB is completely depend upon the RB, that is base resistor, and this equation is independent of the current IC. So if you do the derivation for this DIB, so we will get DIB by DIC equal to 0, and the stability factor, now if you see this stability factor, so we can represent this stability factor. It is a ratio of your change in collector current, that is, see, change in collector current with respect to the ICO or IB or beta. So if the collector current is changed with respect to ICO, then we will call it as a yes. If the collector current is changed, that is delta IC is changed with respect to your VBE or IB, so we will call it as a S dash. So here the remaining factors, that is ICO and beta are constant, and we can represent the S double dash is the change of collector current with respect to the change of beta. So here the remaining parameters ICO and VBE are constants. Okay students, so if you see the formula for this one, so S is that is stability factor is equal to delta IC by delta ICO, and the constant the collector current for a common emitter amplifier is given by, so this is the basic formula that we already discussed, IC equal to, so beta into IB plus ICEO, so that is represented with so 1 plus beta into 1B IB plus so 1 plus beta into ICO. So when you differentiate this equation with respect to IC, so with respect to IC we will get S equal to, so 1 plus beta into, so 1 minus beta into DIB by DIC. Now see, you please remember this point. Yeah, this equation. Now, so when we compare this equation, so with the with this value, that is here the base current is independent of IC. So when we do the differentiation with respect to IC, so we will get for the fixed bias the value of S is equal to 1 plus beta. Here students, for the stability factor, the S value, so the S value always it should be lies in between 2 to 9. 2 to 9, then only the Q point will be stable at its active region. If the S value is increases more than this value, so automatically the thermal stability will get decreases. But here for the fixed bias we got S value, that is the stability factor is equal to 1 plus beta, and always the beta value is so lies in the range of for the common emitter, so 50 to almost 300. So if you consider the beta value equal to 50, then we will get the value of S equal to 51. So due to this, the huge value of your stability factor, the thermal stability will get decreases, and automatically the Q point will be varied. So your in fixed bias if transistor, so may not be work as an amplifier at a constant period of time. Yeah, these are all the advantages and disadvantages of the fixed bias. That is, the circuit is simple. Advantages are the circuit is simple. Only one resistor is required, that is RB resistor. If you fix the value of RB, then automatically the entire the input values of your fixed bias will be fixed, and there is no loading effect as no resistor is present at base emitter junction. And the drawbacks are the stabilization is poor as heat development can't be stopped, and the stability factor is very high, so there are strong changes of thermal runaway. So due to this poor stability, so the effect of temperature is very high on your circuit, so due to that the Q factor will be changed. Next, this is collector to base bias, and in this collector to base bias students, we are connect in fixed bias, so just we have given this RB directly to the VCC, but here we have given the RB to your collector terminal of your resistor. Now if you apply the Kirchhoff voltage law, if you apply the Kirchhoff voltage law at the input of your circuit, so we have to consider these two current values, that is IC and IB. Now the flow of current will be so represented as like this, and this is the voltage across your VBE. We can write that, so from this input side, if you apply the KVL, then we can write that, so VCC equal to, so IB into RC plus RB plus VBE plus IC into RC. So from this equation, if you take the base current, see students, for our confirmation, where I am writing here the equation, so we can write that if you apply, so we can write that if you apply the so if you apply the input voltage, we can write that, so apply KVL at input side. Now we can write that the applied voltage VCC is equal to, so both IC and IB into, so this RL plus, so IB into RB plus VBE. So this is the input voltage. So from this we can write that the value of IB is equal to, so VCC minus VBE minus IC into RC by RC plus 1B. Now by considering the stability factor, if you do the derivation with respect to the collector current to your base current, then we will get the IB by DIC equal to, so minus RC by RC plus 1B. So by solving this equation, so if you substitute the value of DIB by DIC value in the stability factor of S, so we will get the value of S equal to, so 1 plus beta into, so 1 plus beta into RC by RC plus 1B. Now if you substitute the value, students, definitely we will get this value, so less than the value of your fixed bias, less than the value of fixed bias. So due to this reason, we can say that the stability factor, that is the S, the stability factor for fixed bias is high than this emitter base bias or the collector base bias. So with the help of this collector base bias, so it is possible to reduce the stability factor, so the thermal stability so might be increases. This is the one of the advantage of your collector to base bias. Now if you see the voltage divider transistor biasing, so here we connected one more resistor at the emitter of your transistor and one more resistor at the base of your resistor. Now if you apply similarly, if you apply the Kirchhoff voltage law at the input side, so we can write that the value of the current I1 equal to VCC by R1 plus R2. We will call it is a voltage divider, the transistor also, or the voltage divider circuit also we will call. So if you solve these equations by applying the Kirchhoff voltage law, so here if you apply the KVL, so KVL at input side, so we will get the value of IC equal to, so voltage V2 minus VBE by RE, and the value of the emitter current, so IE equal to V2 minus VBE into RE. Here by solving this one, we have to remember one point, students, that is here it is VBE, and we can say that the value of VBE is nothing but, so VB minus VE. Similarly, if you see this VCE value, and we can also write this VCE value, that is VC minus VE, and here also the one more voltage is there, so this is called VBC, and this VBC also we can write that, so VB minus VC. Always remember, students, this value is always it will give the negative voltage. it will give the negative voltage. So according to the formulas, if you solve applying the Kirchhoff voltage law at the input and output of your transistor, so we will get these values. So finally, see here, by solving this transistor biasing, we will get the thermal stability for this one is for voltage divided transistor bias. So we will get the thermal stability is 1. So it means the thermal stability is very high. So due to the less value of your S value. So this is very important. So for the voltage divider biasing, we got the thermal stability is so very high due to this stability factor. So here we got the 1. At least generally students, here the stability factor S value, so theoretically we can say 0, but practically it won't exist the value of 0. So because the thermal stability is nothing but the S equal to, you know, the delta IC by delta ICO. So if the S value should be equal to 0 means then the IC should equal to 0, or this delta ICO should be equal to infinity. The both are will not exist. That's why this thermal stability is always it will have the minimum value of 1, and we got in this voltage divider circuit the thermal stability is 1. So now in the next class, what are all the compounding techniques are there to maintain your Q point in active region, so how to avoid the temperature effect on your transistor. So we will see in the next videos. Thank you.